Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Amazing Sharks. So, this week's video is on shark attacks. That's right, I promised you a video on shark attacks, and here it is. So, we're going to start with the story what started the shark attack frenzy. In New Jersey, there was a series of shark attacks known as the Jersey Shore shark attacks. The Jersey Shore shark attacks of 1916 were a series of shark attacks along the coast of New Jersey in the United States between July 1st and 12th, 1916, in which 4 people were killed and 1 critically injured. The incidents occurred during a deadly summer heat wave and polio epidemic in the United States that drove thousands of people to the seaside resorts of the Jersey Shore. Since 1916, scholars have debated what shark species was responsible, and the number of animals involved, with the great white shark and the bull shark most frequently cited. Personal and national reaction to the fatalities involved a wave of panic that led to shark hunts aimed at eradicating the population of man-eating sharks and protecting the economies of the New Jersey seaside communities. Resort towns enclosed their public beaches with steel nets to protect swimmers. Scientific knowledge about sharks before 1916 was based on conjecture and speculation. The attacks forced ichthyologists to reassess common beliefs about the abilities of sharks and the nature of shark attacks. Between July 1st and 12th, 1916, 5 people were attacked along the coast of New Jersey by sharks. Only one of the victims survived. The first major attack occurred on Saturday, July 1st at Beach Haven, a resort town established on Long Beach Island off the northern coast of New Jersey. Charles Epting Vassant, 23, of Philadelphia, was on vacation at the Ingleside Hotel with his family. Before dinner, Vassant decided to take a quick swim in the Atlantic with a Chesapeake Bay retriever that was playing on the beach. Shortly after entering the water, Vassant began shouting. Bathers believed he was calling to the dog, but a shark was actually biting Vassant's legs. He was rescued by lifeguard Alexander Ott and bystander Sheridan Taylor, who claimed the shark followed him to the shore as they pulled the bleeding Vassant from the water. Vassant's left eye was stripped of its flesh. He bled to death on the manager's desk of the Ingleside Hotel at 6:45 p.m. Try that again. Despite the Vassant attack, beaches along the Jersey Shore remained open. Sightings of large sharks swimming off the coast of New Jersey were reported by sea captains entering the ports of New York and New York City, but were dismissed. The second major attack occurred on Thursday, July 6, 1916, at the resort town of Spring Lake, New Jersey, 45 miles north of Beach Haven. The victim was Charles Bruder, 27, a Swiss bell captain at the Essex and Sussex Hotel. Bruder was attacked while swimming 130 yards from the shore. A shark bit his abdomen and severed his legs. Bruder's blood turned the water red. After hearing screams, a woman notified 2 lifeguards that a canoe with a red hull had capsized and was floating at the water's surface. Lifeguards Chris Anderson and George White rowed to Bruder in a lifeboat and realized he had been bitten by a shark. They pulled him from the water, but he bled to death on the way to shore. According to New York Times, women were panic-stricken and fainted as Bruder's mutilated body was brought ashore. Guests and workers at the Essex and Sussex and neighboring hotels raised money for Bruder's mother in Switzerland. The next 3 attacks took place in Matawan Creek near the town of Keyport on Wednesday, July 12th. Located 30 miles north of Spring Lake and inland of Raritan Bay, Matawan resembled a Midwestern town rather than an Atlantic beach resort. Matawan's location made it an unlikely site for interactions between sharks and humans. When Thomas Cottrell, a sea captain and Matawan resident, spotted an 8-foot long shark in the creek, the town dismissed him. Around 2 p.m., a group of local boys, including young Lester Stillwell, 11, were playing in the creek together. One of the boys had brought along his pet dog, which was swimming with them as well. At an area called Wyckoff Dock, they saw what appeared to be an old black weather-beaten board or a weathered log. A dorsal fin appeared in the water, and the boys realized it was a shark. Before Stillwell could climb from the creek, the shark pulled him underwater. The boys ran to town for help, and several men, including local businessman Watson Stanley Fisher, 24, came to investigate. Fisher and others drove into the creek to find Stillwell, thinking he had suffered a seizure. After locating the boy's body and attempting to return to shore, Fisher was also bitten by the shark in front of the townspeople, losing Stillwell in the process. His right thigh was severely injured and he bled to death at Monmouth Memorial Hospital in Long Branch at 5:30 p.m. Stillwell's body was recovered 150 feet upstream from the Wyckoff dock on July 14th. The fifth and final victim, Joseph Dunn, 14 of New York City, was attacked a half mile from Wyckoff Dock nearly 30 minutes after the fatal attacks on Stillwell and Fisher. The shark bit his left leg, stripping it of flesh, but Dunn was rescued by his brother and friend after a vicious tug-of-war battle with the shark. Dunn told the press that he felt his leg going down the shark's throat. "I believe it would have swallowed me." Dunn was taken to St. Peter's University Hospital in New Brunswick. He recovered from the bite and was released on September 15, 1916. Here's a summary of the New Jersey events. 5 shark bites, 4 fatalities, and 1 survivor occurred within 12 days in July of 1916. 2 shark bites occurred in the oceanic waters, 3 bites occurred in brackish waters. The shark bites occurred sequentially in a northerly direction along the shore, which is why people believed it to be the same shark. Shark biologist Richard Ellis proposed that 3 of the shark bites were more likely to be bull shark, which are known to enter brackish and freshwater rivers, although the salinity may have been increased due to tidal flushing. The bites of the survivor more closely matched that of the bull shark than the great white shark. Although the salinity at 2.3 meter juvenile great white shark was caught with ingested human remains in its guts. Based on these facts, it would appear there were 2 species of sharks involved in the incident. The blue shark and sand tiger bar shark were also caught as suspected sharks. In fact, hundreds of sharks were caught on the East Coast that year as a result of shark bites. This is the attack that inspired Jaws, written by Peter Benchley, who of course led to the movie Jaws, which everyone knows. A shark attack is an attack on a human by a shark. Every year, about 80 unprovoked attacks are reported worldwide. Despite their rarity, many people fear shark attack after occasional serial attacks, such as the New Jersey Shore shark attacks of 1916, and horror fiction and films such as the Jaws series. Out of more than 500 shark species, only 3 are responsible for double-digit numbers of fatal unprovoked attacks on humans: the great white, tiger, and bull. The oceanic white-tip has probably killed many more shipwreck and plane crash survivors, but these are not recorded in the statistics. Humans are not part of the shark's normal diet. Sharks usually feed on small fish and invertebrates, seals, sea lions, and other marine animals. A shark attack will usually occur if a shark feels curious or confused. According to the International Shark Attack File, between 1958 and 2016, there were 2,785 confirmed unprovoked shark attacks around the world, of which 439 were fatal. Between 2011 and 2010, an average of 4.3 people per year died from shark attacks. In 2000, there were 79 shark attacks reported worldwide, 11 of them fatal. In 2005 and 2006, this number decreased to 61 and 62 respectively, while the number of fatalities dropped to only 4 per year. The 2016 yearly total of 81 shark attacks worldwide was on par with the most recent 5-year average of 82 incidents annually. By contrast, the 98 shark attacks in 2015 was the highest yearly total on record. There were 4 fatalities worldwide in 2016, which is lower than the average of 8 fatalities per year worldwide in the 2011 to 2015 period, and 6 deaths per annum over the past decade. In 2016, 58% of attacks were on surfers. Despite these reports, however, the actual number of fatal shark attacks worldwide remains uncertain. In most third world coastal nations, no method of reporting suspected shark attacks exists. Therefore, losses and fatalities near shore or at sea often remain unsolved or unpublicized. Of these attacks, most occurred in the United States, 53 in 2000, 40 in 2005, and 39 in 2006. The New York Times reported in July 2008 that there had been only one fatal shark attack the previous year. On average, there are 16 shark attacks per year in the United States, with one fatality every 2 years. According to the ISAF, the U.S. states in which the most attacks have occurred are Florida, Hawaii, California, Texas, and the Carolinas, though attacks have occurred in almost every coastal state. Australia has the highest number of fatal shark attacks in the world, with Western Australia recently becoming the deadliest place in the world for shark attacks, with total and fatal shark bites growing exponentially over the last 40 years. Since 2000, there have been 17 fatal shark attacks along the western Australian coast, with divers now facing odds of 1 to 16,000 for a fatal shark bite. Other shark attack hotspots include Reunion Island, Boa Vagam in Brazil, Makina Beach in Maui, Hawaii, and Second Beach, Port St. John, South Africa. South Africa has a high number of shark attacks along with a high fatality rate of 27%. As of June 28, 1992, Recife in Brazil began officially registering shark attacks on its beaches. Over more than 2 decades, 64 victims were attacked, of whom 26 died. The last deadly attack occurred on July 10, 2021. The attacks were caused by the bull shark and tiger shark species. The shark attacks in Recife have an unusually high fatality rate of about 37%. This is much higher than the worldwide shark attack fatality rate, which is currently at about 16%, according to the Florida State Museum of Natural History. Several factors have been contributed to the unusually high attack and fatality rates, including pollution from sewage runoff and a now closed local slaughterhouse. The place with the most recorded shark attacks is New Smyrna Beach, Florida. Developed nations such as the United States, Australia, and to some extent South Africa facilitate more through documentation of shark attacks on humans than developing coastal nations. The increased use of technology has enabled Australia and the United States to record more data than other nations, which could somewhat bias the results. In addition, individuals and institutions in South Africa, the United States, and Australia keep a file which is regularly updated by an entire research team, the International Shark Attack File and the Australian Shark Attack File. The Florida Museum of Natural History compares these statistics with the much higher rate of deaths from other causes. For example, an average of more than 38 people die annually from lightning strikes in coastal states, while less than one person per year is killed by a shark in Florida. In the United States, the likelihood that a person who goes to beaches will be attacked by a shark is 1 in 11.5 million, and a person's chance of getting killed by a shark is less than 1 in 264.1 million. However, in certain situations, the risk of a shark attack is higher. For example, in the southwest of Western Australia, the chances of a surfer being fatally bitten by a shark in winter or spring are 1 in 40,000, and for divers, it is 1 in 16,000. In comparison, the risk of a serious or fatal cycling accident, this represents 3 times the risk for a surfer and 7 times the risk for a diver. In comparison to previous years, ISAF reported a total of 57 unprovoked shark bites worldwide in 2022, which is lower than the past 5-year average of 70 incidents annually. There were also 32 provoked bites, 4 boat bites, and a few other incidents classified differently, totaling 108 cases investigated by ISAF in 2022. This reflects a decrease in both fatal and non-fatal shark bites. Now, bear in mind that only a few shark species are dangerous to humans. As mentioned before, only 3 have double-digit attacks on humans, and out of over more than 500 species, there are very few that actually do the biting. These sharks are large and powerful predators. They may sometimes attack and kill people, even though all have been filled in open water by unprotected divers. In The 2010 French film Ocean shows footage of humans swimming next to sharks in the ocean. It is possible that the sharks can sense the presence of unnatural elements on or about the divers, such as polyurethane diving suits and air tanks, which may lead them to accept the divers as more of a curiosity than prey. Uncostumed humans, however, such as those surfboarding, light snorkeling, or swimming, present a much greater area of exposed skin to sharks. In addition, the presence of even small traces of blood, recent minor abrasions, cuts, scrapes, or bruises may lead sharks to attack a human in their environment. Sharks seek out prey through electroreception, sensing the electrified fields that are generated by all animals due to the activity of their nerves and muscles. Most of oceanic whitetips attacks have not been recorded, unlike the other three species mentioned above. Famed oceanographic researcher Jacques Cousteau described the oceanic whitetip as the most dangerous of all sharks. The reason why this is thought to be the most dangerous of all sharks is because the oceanic whitetip usually frequents shipwrecks and plane wrecks. Modern day statistics show the oceanic whitetip shark as seldom being involved in unprovoked attacks. However, there have been a number of attacks involving the species, particularly during World War I and World War II. The oceanic whitetip lives in the open sea and rarely shows up near coasts where most recorded incidents occur. During the World Wars, many ship and aircraft disasters happened in the open ocean, and because of its former abundance, the oceanic whitetip was often the first species on site when such a disaster happened. And famous examples of oceanic whitetip attacks include the sinking of the Nova Scotia, a British steamship carrying 1,000 people that was torpedoed by a German submarine on November 18, 1942, near South Africa. Only 192 people survived, with many deaths attributed to the oceanic whitetip shark. The same species is believed to have been responsible for many of the 600 to 800 or more casualties following the torpedo of the USS Indianapolis on July 30th, 1945. Black December refers to at least 9 shark attacks on humans, causing 6 deaths that occurred the coast of KwaZulu National Province, South Africa, from December 18, 1957 to April 5th, 1958. In addition to the 4 species responsible for a significant number of fatal attacks on humans, a number of other species have attacked humans without being provoked and have, on extremely rare occasions, been responsible for a human death. This group includes the short-fin mako, hammerhead, Galapagos, gray reef, blacktip, lemon, silky shark, and blue sharks. These sharks are also large and powerful predators which can be provoked simply by being in the water at the wrong time and place, but they are normally considered less dangerous to humans than the grouping of the 3, the tiger, the great white, and the bull. On the evening of March 16, 2009, a new addition was made to the list of sharks known to attack human beings. In a painful but not directly life-threatening incident, a long-distance swimmer crossing the Lawinhau Channel between the islands of Hawaii and Maui was attacked by a cookie cutter shark. The 2 bites were delivered about 15 seconds apart. Shark attack indices use different criteria to determine if an attack was provoked or unprovoked. When considered from the shark's point of view, attacks on humans who are perceived as a threat to the shark or competitor to its food source are all provoked attacks. Neither the International Shark Attack File nor the Global Shark Attack File accord casualties of air-sea disasters provoked or unprovoked status. Rather, these incidents are considered a separate category. Post-mortem scavenging of human remains, typically drowning victims, are also not accorded provoked or unprovoked status. The GSAF categorizes scavenging bites on humans as questionable incidents. The most common criteria for determining provoked and unprovoked attacks are discussed below. Provoked attacks occur when a human touches, hooks, nets, or otherwise aggravates the animal. Incidents that occur outside the shark's natural habitat, such as an aquarium and research holding pens, are considered provoked, as are all incidents involving captured sharks. Sometimes humans inadvertently provoke an attack, such as when a surfer accidentally hits a shark with his surfboard. Unprovoked attacks are initiated by the shark. They occur in a shark's natural habitat on a live human and without human provocation. There are 3 subcategories of unprovoked attack: Hit and run attacks. Usually non-fatal, the shark bites and then leaves. Most victims do not see the shark. This is the most common type of attack and typically occurs in the surf zone or in murky water. Most hit and run attacks are believed to be the result of mistaken identity. Sneak attack. The victim will not usually see the shark and may sustain multiple deep bites. This kind of attack is predatory in nature and is often carried out with the intention of consuming the victim. It is extraordinarily rare for this to occur. Bump and bite attack. The shark circles and bumps the victim before biting. Great whites are known to do this on occasion, referred to as a test bite, in which the great white is trying to identify what is being bitten. Repeated bites, depending on the reaction of the victim, thrashing or panicking, may lead the shark to believe the victim is prey, are not uncommon and can be severe or fatal. Bump and bite attacks are not to believe to be the result of mistaken identity. An incident occurred in 2011 when a 3-meter-long great white shark jumped into a 7-person research vessel off Seal Island, South Africa. The crew were undertaking a population study using sardines as bait and initially retreated to safety to the bow of the ship while the shark thrashed about, damaging equipment and fuel lines. To keep the shark alive while a rescue ship towed the research vessel to shore, the crew poured water over its gills and eventually used the pump for mechanical ventilation. The shark was ultimately lifted back into the water by crane and, after becoming disoriented and beaching itself in the harbor, was successfully towed out to sea. The incident was judged an accident. Large shark species are apex predators in their environment and thus have little fear of any creature other than the orca, which they cross paths. Like most sophisticated hunters, they are curious when they encounter something unusual in their territories. Lacking any limbs with sensitive digits such as hands or feet, the only way they can explore an object or organism is to bite it. These bites are known as test bites. Generally, shark bites are exploratory and the animal will swim away after one bite. For example, exploratory bites on surfers are thought to be caused by the shark mistaking the surfer or surfboard for the shape of prey. Nonetheless, a single bite can grievously injure a human if the animal involved is a powerful predator such as a great white or tiger shark. A shark will normally make one swift attack and then retreat to wait for its victim to die or weaken from shock and blood loss before returning to feed. This protects the shark from injury from a wounded and aggressive target. It also allows humans time to get out of the water and survive. Shark attacks may also occur due to territorial reasons or as dominance over another shark species. Sharks are equipped with sensory organs called ampullae of Lorenzini that detect the electricity generated by muscle movement. The shark's electrical receptors, which pick up movement, detect signals like those emitted from wounded fish. For example, someone who is spearfishing, leading the shark to attack the person by mistake. According to George H. Burgess, director of the International Shark Attack File, attacks are basically an odds game based on how many hours you are in the water, reducing the risks. General advice to reduce the risk of being bitten by a shark include staying in groups as solitary individuals are more at risk of being bitten, only going in the water during the day, avoiding areas with lots of fish or fishers, not wearing jewelry which can create reflections like fish scales, avoiding splashes at the surface because it makes a sound which attracts sharks. Mouse. Hmm. A shark barrier, otherwise known as a shark-proof enclosure or beach enclosure, is the seabed to surface protective barrier that is placed around a beach to separate people from sharks. Shark barriers form a fully enclosed swimming area that prevents sharks from entering. Shark barrier design has evolved from rudimentary fencing materials to netted structures held in place with buoys and anchors. Recent designs have used plastics to increase strength and versatility. When deployed in sheltered areas, shark barriers offer complete protection and are seen as more environmentally friendly option as they largely avoid bycatch. However, barriers are not effective on surf beaches because they usually disintegrate in the swell. Thus, barriers are normally constructed only around sheltered areas such as harbor beaches. Shark nets. In Australia and South Africa, shark nets are used to reduce the risk of shark attack. Since 1936, shark nets have been used off Sydney beaches. Shark nets are currently installed at beaches in New South Wales and Queensland. 83 beaches are meshed in Queensland compared with 51 in New South Wales. Since 1952, nets have been installed at numerous beaches in South Africa by KwaZulu-Natal Shark Board. Shark nets do not offer complete protection but work on the principles of fewer sharks, fewer attacks. They reduce occurrence via shark mortality. Reducing the local shark populations is believed to reduce the chance of an attack. Historical shark attack figures suggest that shark nets and drum lines markedly reduce the incidence of shark attack when repeatedly and consistently implemented. The downside of shark nets is that they result in bycatch, including threatened and endangered species. Between September 2017 and April 2018, 403 animals were killed in the nets in New South Wales, including 10 critically endangered great nurse sharks, 7 dolphins, 7 green sea turtles, and 14 great white sharks. Between 1950 and 2008, 352 tiger sharks and 577 great white sharks were killed in the nets in New South Wales. Also during this period, 15,135 marine animals were killed in the nets, including whales, turtles, rays, dolphins, and dugongs. KwaZulu-Natal's net program, operated by KwaZulu-Natal Shark Board, has killed more than 33,000 sharks in a 30-year period. During the same 30-year period, 2,211 turtles, 8,448 rays, and 2,310 dolphins were killed in KwaZulu-Natal. Shark nets have been criticized by environmentalists, scientists, and conservationists who assert that shark nets harm marine ecosystem. In particular, the current net program in New South Wales has been described as being extremely destructive to marine life. Sharks are important to the ecosystem, and killing them harms the ecosystem. Drum lines. The drum line is an unmanned aquatic trap used to lure and capture large sharks using baited hooks. They are typically deployed near popular swimming beaches with the intention of reducing the number of sharks in the vicinity and therefore the probability of shark attack. Drum lines were first deployed to protect users of the marine environment from sharks in Queensland, Australia in 1962. During this time, they were just as successful in reducing the frequency of shark attacks as were shark nets. More recently, drumlines have also been used with great success in Recife, Brazil, where the number of attacks has dropped by 97% when the drumlines are deployed. While shark nets and drumlines share the same purpose, drumlines are more effective at targeting the 3 sharks that are considered most dangerous to swimmers: the bull shark, tiger shark, and great white shark. Smart drumlines can also be used to move sharks, which greatly reduces mortality of sharks and bycatch to less than 2%. Data reveals the ecological carnage of Queensland's shark control regime. In total, more than 8,000 marine species with the same level of protection status have been caught by the Queensland Shark Control Program, including 719 loggerhead turtles, 442 manta rays, and 33 critically endangered hawksbill turtles. More than 84,000 marine animals have been ensnared by drumlines and shark nets since the program began in 1962. Nearly 27,000 marine mammals have been snared. The state's shark control policy has captured over 5,000 turtles, 1,014 dolphins, and nearly 700 dugongs and 120 whales. Drumlines have been criticized by environmentalists, conservationists, and animal welfare activists who have asserted that drumlines are unethical, non-scientific, and environmentally destructive. They also claim drumlines harm the marine ecosystem. Other protection methods. Beach patrols and spotter aircraft are commonly used to protect popular swimming beaches. However, aerial patrols have limited effectiveness in reducing shark attacks. Other methods include shark tagging efforts and associated tracking and notification systems, capture and translocation of sharks to offshore waters, research into shark feeding and foraging behavior, public shark threat education programs, and encouraging higher risk user groups such as surfers, spearfishers, and divers to use personal shark protection technology. The odds of being attacked by a shark are very low, and the chances of dying from a shark attack are even lower. The odds of being attacked by a shark are 1 in 11.5 million. The odds of being attacked and killed by a shark are 1 in 3.75 million. The odds of being eaten by a shark are 1 in 264 million. The number of shark attacks increased in 2023, but the numbers remain small. In 2023, there were 69 shark attacks around the world and 11 fatalities. Now let's delve a little bit into the rogue shark theory. The rogue shark theory is the idea that a single shark is responsible for shark-human interactions rather than many sharks. The theory was popularized by Australian surgeon Dr. Victor Coppelson between 1930s and the 1950s. The theory is based on the following ideas. Most sharks behave normally. Rogue sharks are vicious. Rogue sharks patrol certain areas for long periods. Rogue sharks must be hunted until they are destroyed. The theory was inspired by a series of 4 fatal shark bites in New Jersey in 1916 that we discussed earlier. However, the theory has since been heavily debated. Some say that the idea that sharks develop a taste for human flesh is an invention. This theory inspired most shark movies. If you notice, they follow that theme to a T. However, besides the New Jersey incident, there has never been one shark responsible for hunting and outright eating humans. So, why is it a myth or a theory but never proven? Well, that's easy. Sharks, as we know, migrate. They do not stay in one area for any length of time. They forage for whatever food they can find, but the fact is that humans are not on the menu for sharks. Most of the bites from a shark are testing what you are and if you are food. Sharks do not have hands, so they cannot reach out and touch you to see what you are and if you are what they eat. The only way they can do that is to take a bite. It has been proven there are sensors in sharks' teeth that help it determine whether or not something is food, so when it comes up and takes a taste, that's all it is a taste. However, if it's a 20-foot shark tasting you, of course you're going to sustain a bit of damage. So this is my video on shark attacks. And remember, if you see a shark, remain calm. Keep it in sight. If possible, exit the water slowly. If you're attacked, defend yourself. Playing dead doesn't work. Use whatever you have at your disposal, surf or dive gear, fishing equipment, to avoid using your bare hands to attack the shark. If you must use your hands, concentrate on attacking the eyes, nose, and gills. Make sudden movements to scare the shark. After the attack, if bitten, try to stop the bleeding before leaving the water by applying pressure. Leave the water as quickly and calmly as possible. Get immediate medical attention no matter how small the injury. How to help a shark attack victim. Even before you leave the water, begin controlling bleeding by pressing on pressure points or by applying tourniquets. Remove the victim from the water as soon as possible. Protect the victim from cold by wrapping him or her in a blanket to minimize heat loss. Once out of the water, try not to move the victim unnecessarily and call for medical help. All right, you guys, this was my video on shark attacks. I hope you enjoyed it. And remember, if there's something you want to hear about or see, then leave a comment below and I will be sure to make a video about it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course, share. Do you know somebody who likes sharks? Share with somebody. Next week's video, bull sharks. I know you guys have been waiting for this one. We are going to do bull sharks next. All right. Y'all have a fantastic week, and I look forward to seeing you next weekend.